Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So a while back, I did a mini-series where I opened 10,000 fishing crates in Terraria to see what kind of loot I would get. And today, I'm going to extend that concept into another game and loot 10,000 dungeon chests in Minecraft. As you may or may not know, Minecraft dungeons have 24 different potential items that can generate within them. Most of these are common items, such as rotten flesh or coal. But there are also some more sought-after items that can spawn inside the chests, such as name tags and golden apples. So although I am interested to see all of the loot in these chests, the two items I'm most interested in are the notch apple and the enchanted book. The notch apples because they cannot be crafted and thus are one of the most rare items in the game, and the enchanted books because they can contain a large variety of different enchantments, some of which are quite rare themselves. So without further ado, let's get into the results. Starting off with the most common items, I found 33,942 bones, 33,497 rotten flesh, 33,319 string, and 31,647 gunpowder. The quantities of these four items were just about what we would expect to find. The only thing of note here is that although all four of these items have the exact same chances to appear, the gunpowder was noticeably more infrequent than the other three items, and I don't really have an explanation for this other than just getting unlucky. Now from this point on, you'll notice that the items are much less frequent, which is to be expected. It seems that the loot in these chests is divided into a few different rarity groups, some of which being much more common than others. So moving on to the next group, I found 10,274 wheat, 7,492 redstone, and 7,412 coal, and there really isn't much of note with those items. Then we have the three different types of seeds: melon at 6,001, pumpkin at 5,846, and beetroot at 5,786. All of these seed quantities are pretty similar to each other, and that's what we would expect. Although it is notable that only the melon seeds actually lived up to the expected values of these three items. After the seeds, I found 5,131 iron, 3,838 bread, 3,200 name tags, 3,144 saddles, and 2,463 gold. Out of those five items, nothing really strayed too far off of what we would expect to find. However, something that I am slightly embarrassed to admit is that before I conducted this experiment, I actually had no idea that gold generated in dungeon chests. I'm sure that I've actually seen it before, but when I read that it was part of the loot table, it surprised me nevertheless. Moving on, I found 2,391 cat discs, 2,359 sets of iron horse armor, 2,321 golden apples, and 2,207 13 discs. Another thing that I didn't know about dungeon loot is that these four items actually have the same chances to be found as each other, something that I really wouldn't have expected, especially the golden apple. The only thing that I want to point out here is that there's almost a 200 item difference between the two music discs, putting cat above the expected value and 13 below the expected value. But honestly, that's really not much of a difference when we're talking about this scale of loot. Next, I found 1,987 buckets, 1,528 enchanted books, 1,515 sets of gold horse armor, and 797 sets of diamond horse armor. The only thing that I want to mention about this group is the fact that all four of these items are almost perfectly aligned with their expected values. And this brings up yet another thing that I didn't know about dungeon loot. Diamond horse armor is actually extremely rare in these chests, almost as rare as notch apples in fact. So if you happen to find a set of diamond horse armor in a dungeon, consider yourself lucky. And now the final item, one of the things that I was most interested in when starting this experiment, is the notch apple. Out of the 10,000 chests looted, there were only 320 of them, which works out to about one apple every 31 chests. Now, to be honest, this was to be expected. I knew that the notch apple is very rare, although I didn't quite know exactly how rare it was, but now I do. However, this opens up a new question of mine. How many notch apples would I get if I looted 10,000 desert pyramid chests or mineshaft chests? Perhaps a future video could answer those questions. But we're not done here yet. Although we have gotten through all of the different items that I found, I still want to look at one more thing, and that is the enchantments contained on the books. Or more specifically, what rare enchantments did I get? So, getting right into it, the enchantment that everybody seems to want, mending. Out of the 1,528 enchanted books that I found, 51 of them were mending, or around 3%. Now, this is actually pretty high, especially when we look at some of the other enchantments like Sharpness 5, which was only found 11 times. But one of the most interesting things to me was Frostwalker 2, which was only found 8 times in total. Now, this stood out to me in specific because Frostwalker and Mending are the 2 enchantments that I always group together when I'm thinking about rarity, but it seems that when it comes to dungeon loot, Frostwalker is much more rare than Mending. Some other enchantments to note are Efficiency 5, which I found 8 times, Protection 4, which I found 15 times, Power 5, which I actually only found 4 times, and Silk Touch, which I found 31 times. And with that, my loot analysis is complete. If you're curious how I looted 10,000 dungeon chests, first, I used World Edit to copy an unopened dungeon chest, and that is important because if you open it, then the loot would be the same for every chest. Then, I pasted 10,000 of them in a 100 by 100 square, and after that, I built 10 identical sorting systems and connected them each to 1,000 of the chests. Now, the only problem that I had at this point was the unstackable items, such as saddles and music discs, because these items do not work with conventional item filters. So what I did instead was I sent them all to a large group of chests at the end of the sorting system, and then I went through and manually sorted them out by throwing them into a water stream that sent them into new chests. And once that was all done, I had all my items sorted and ready to go. But with that, guys, we've come to the end of this experiment. If you enjoyed the video and would like to see more experiments in Minecraft, let me know in the comments so I know to make more videos. Also, if you're not aware, I stream 4 times a week on Twitch, and will be doing a 24-hour live stream this upcoming Saturday. So if you'd like to tune in, I'll have a link in the description of the video. But with that out of the way, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.